And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it every weekend. Love it.
What is it? 26 years ago today?
Well, live, Jay. Hello, everybody.
Usual professionalism there. Sorry, Howson.
Yeah, it is 26 years today. I was actually... hello, everybody, and welcome to the warm down. Jay Motty's joining us. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is 26 years ago today since we signed a king, and I had my 9th birthday party at Old Trafford, which was cut short because there was a press conference as they unveiled him. Now, a little boring fact for you. Like, obviously, it was not this shirt. This is... who signed this? I think it's Pallister, and that might be Dennis Irwin. So obviously this shirt...
There's a lot of them autographs.
This shirt was obviously what Cantona stood on the pitch with, didn't it? Now, you might remember, he stands on the pitch, it just said Cantona, right?
I know where you're going with this, but go on.
Yeah, I got that shirt that he stood on the pitch with.
Oh, right, I didn't know
because we couldn't have my whole birthday party because it was cut short. Yeah, I was literally having my birthday party. My dad comes, smokes roll-ups, doesn't he? So my dad's come walking over to us. He's like, just signed Cantona. What did I say?
You said, who?
Who? And he goes, don't know, from Leeds. And he goes, anyway, there's his shirt.
Have you still got it?
Have a bollocks. Do you know what happened, right? So, as you've seen on the photos, you'll have seen him. The day Cantona was signed, obviously, it just said Cantona, there was no number.
Massive shirt that as well, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Is that not the big one?
No, it wasn't big, because I wore it as a 10-year-old, like, all the way through.
It must have been a picture that I was looking at the angle.
I can't reach that now. It's going over there. So, I wore it for ages. Cantona's number 7, iconic number 7, innit? Yeah. So by the time the second season rolls round, and back in the day we used to wear the kit for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Imagine that. Obviously he's the iconic number 7, isn't it? Myron, I want a 7 on it, just says Cantona. The laces have gone, by the way, so I've got like Puma King laces going through the thing now, instead of the original laces that have come with it. My mum gets me a black 7 and sews it on. And you're like... So, not realising as a 10-year-old, like you don't, how iconic it is, I ended up binning it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
I wore it, so it was, you know what 90s shirts are like, they got bobbled to death all over the front of it.
My mate, when he signed, went out and got number 9 on the back. He thought he was number 9. He'd take number 9, so he had Cantona number 9.
But that's a rarity.
Yeah, it is. Well, because he's the one stupid enough to do it.
But yeah, I never met the guy until February last year.
What was that like meeting him? Did you tell him that story?
No, I didn't tell him that story. I shown him the picture of me with the Eric the King flag in Afghanistan. Is what I shown him, and he goes, "This is my best Cantona impression." He goes, "Whoa!" And he goes, "You send me this." I was like, "I'll do anything that you want right now."
You sent it him.
So I sent him. So I do have Eric Cantona's email address.
Oh, I thought you were going to say his phone number. Now I was going to say, give him a ring.
I've been about once every half an hour or something. I email him saying, "Can he come on?" 45 minutes.
Has he not blocked you yet? He's not bouncing back.
He follows Full Time Devils, doesn't he?
Does he?
If you go on any of the Full Time Devils Instagram posts, Cantona's...
I saw
Gaz
Drinkwater saying something about this the other day, and I thought it was like just someone who...
Let's just have a look. I'm going to see how many people that Cantona follows. Because it ain't a lot. So I imagine if you're not following a lot of people, it probably just pops up all the time. So he follows 17 people. United, Full-Time Devils, Beckham, Mata, Mancini, Common Goal, something in Italian, Banksy, Drogba, Modric, Bolt, UNICEF. Yeah, basically nobody, but Full-Time Devils is one of the people that he follows, which is wild, isn't it? So when you go on any Full-Time Devils post, like by Abdul and 5,000 others, let's see if one of them is Cantona. Not as yet, not seen it just yet, but that's the shirt. So that shirt ended up in my possession. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see. But
I always thought that shirt was that big.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I remember finding out.
It was baggy, but it was 90s, so it was cool.
Do you know how I found out we'd bought him?
How did you find out we'd bought him? Probably, there you go. Like by Cantona. The last post.
The Evening News.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
The formerly great local newspaper, now the disreputable blog.
It to me. No, none of this internet nonsense or any of that. It was the Evening News. That was how I found out we signed Andy Cole as well.
I found out we signed Dwight York that way.
Did you?
I was going to Kendall's because I was a 14-year-old bad boy going to Kendall's to spray aftershave on myself.
Saying you get a bit of a spray and that's why everyone went to Kendall's.
On a drill.
It's the only time everyone's moaning that it's shutting, but the only time you ever go in there is for a free spray. I don't think I've ever bought anything in there.
Smell me. So the one opposite, on the corner there opposite, and there was actually one outside, but it was the one opposite where I think it's an Holland and Barrett now. Walked out of the road. United, I think it was a British record at the time or something like that. No, it couldn't have been.
What for?
York.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right.
Couldn't have been because Shearer was more. It was 3 years before, so it couldn't have been.
Oh yeah,
Whatever it was. Maybe it was a United record.
Yeah, you're right.
So there was some record. It was like record signing Dwight York, blah blah blah. And I remember going, no way,
Rah.
sitting on a bus reading the MEN like an absolute hero on the way back, reading about.
It was either the MEN or CFAX. That's how I used to find things out back in the day. Yeah, but obviously it's all changed now. Now it's all
MEN. Like, actually, yeah. And they used to do. Can you imagine how inefficient that must have been for a newspaper to have multiple editions in a day?
Yeah, I mean to wait as well, waiting 3 hours to find out some news.
Fuck the MEN.
Well, that's your opinion. There's some good journalists at the MEN. That's all I'm saying. There's some that aren't so great, but I know a few that are alright. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Anyway, how have you been?
Right, it's been a while since me and you sat together and spoke. Like,
talk about Ashley Young, Jay.
Listen, Howson, why have you been out of it? I wasted a Saturday afternoon once arguing with you about Ashley Young. I'd tell you what it was, right? I think it was Palace away when we qualified for.
Was it when McCullough ran on the pitch and grabbed him?
No, it might have been. It was when I think it was the game that sealed us into top 4 under Van Gaal. I'm sure it was Palace or Watford. I'm sure it was Palace.
That rings a bell, you know.
Yeah, because Gary Neville gave him man of the match.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and I made the mistake of tweeting something like Ashley Young's had a decent game, and the next thing you know, your little minions, right? Stephen Howson has retweeted this, and you know when you think, oh my god, that's said to Mrs. cancel that meal, we're not going out tonight. I've got things
fires to put out.
Yeah, I've got 80,000 people having a go at me here, telling me I'm an idiot. So that's literally like I spent my Saturday evening arguing with you and your mates, well, your people that follow you, but like mainly you, because obviously I know you. We were talking, and you were having none of it. You were, I think you were comparing him to. Who were you comparing him to? I can't remember. Someone else had a shocker Daily Blind at someone. You were saying he was worse than him or something. I was like, no, he's not. I'm not having it. I started trying to throw stats at you. He's got 2 assists today. What's up with you? And you're having none of it. You're like, it's a sign of how far we've fallen. That was 3 years ago.
And now he's our captain. Of our captain, you mean?
Yeah. Captain Marble, Marty.
We are doing a 24-hour charity podcast this weekend, and we're hoping to have some United players down with us as well, so fingers crossed. I mean, because let's be honest, if we don't beat Southampton, they won't be allowed out. So they probably relies on that more than you really want it to. Circumstances and all that shit. But I've got an Ashley Young t-shirt. I ain't fucking wearing it until we hit a milestone. I'm also actually trying to get Ashley Young down, because I think...
If he Googles your name,
I know
he's never going to come on here.
Well, I palmed the guy, like I probably ghosted him. Jesse took us in the box for the last game of the season, me and Dave. And Dave got on his knees for him essentially, and I just fucking ghosted him.
To be fair, it's a bit two-faced after you've.
Well, I can't go
the guy for 6 years.
Yeah, I'm not two-faced. But I believe he is aware of my fandom for him, shall we say. So I think that's going to make, if we can get him down, I think it's probably unlikely, because I bet he's going, fuck no, I'm not doing it. Who's it helping out? No, I'm not doing it. How about that? So I'm going to try. I think I will fail. But what we have got is an Ashley Young t-shirt that I'm going to have to wear. Now, I think if we hit the top milestone that we're after, or maybe a stretch goal, maybe I'll wear it like regular for the matches.
Screenshot, make sure I'm going to be looking out for that, mate. That's going to be my new habit. Don't worry about that, eh? I'm going to be pulling out all your old tweets. I'll be dedicating my time.
Do you know what? No, I have met him a couple of times, and it's actually mega sound. But you're mega sound, and I'd be wounded if you was playing for United as well.
Well, yeah, obviously. The thing with Ash Young is, I know we don't want to get into this whole big Ash Young thing. Like, I think, for starters, I don't think he's the problem. I think, for me, you shouldn't be relying on a 33-year-old winger to play at fullback, no matter what. You certainly shouldn't be relying on him when we're so far behind the top clubs. We should have bought someone in the summer, not just an untested youngster who we don't believe in. We should have had backup options. Matteo Darmian is still getting a game when he wants to leave, and he's not good enough. So you've got players that aren't good enough, out want to leave, and they're getting a game in a Premier League game that we need to win. We really needed to win on Saturday. So it's to finally get there, but we're going to have to talk about it If we're going
to boil piss even more, Matteo Darmian is statistically our best player this season.
How's that work in terms of what?
Because he's had 2 games where he's been alright, and everyone else...
Really?
Like, go on Who Scored and have a look.
Do you know what?
He is our statistical best player. Pogba's second, and then it's like Shaw, but even Shaw's like it's pretty ordinary, really. We're just like, we think Shaw's playing well because you look around the rest of it and you go, he kind of stands out, but we're just really shit at the minute.
I get that. I think the thing with Ashley Young is, don't want to keep going back onto him, but there's a lack of leaders, Howson, and at least he's got a gob. At least he's saying that. We need leaders, and we've been arguing about it, not me and you, like United fans in general have been arguing, we've been arguing since 2010, but we've been arguing about lack of leaders in United's team and people who aren't stepping up, and at least he's giving it a go and talking to the ref, talking to other players. You look throughout that team, you know, we've tried Pogba at captain, we've tried Valencia at captain. You know, Ashley Young's probably the only one who's shown a little bit of leadership, any sort of leadership.
Mate, and you know, we're the same age, aren't we?
I'm 38.
All right, you're a lot
younger.
We've essentially, so you've got Robbo in his prime a little bit on the back end of that as well.
I'm back end of Robbo, so like.
Well, I'm really back end of Robbo.
So I'm keen for me is the quintessential United captain.
But you know, even Gary Neville was a top class footballer. Eric Cantona,
Real
top class footballer.
People forget Real captain was for most of the 2007-2008 season and more.
Captain in the final.
He was a great.
I knew we'd won that game when I saw we had Believe mural in the stand, don't we? And I seen Rio looking at it, but not just like looking over. He was looking at it. It looked like he took it in, and I went, "We've won this.
Yeah,
we have won this."
He
game.
was a captain, someone who led vocally by example, got his teammates going, was in the refs there. I like a bit of that. Even Rooney, you know, people will criticise Wayne Rooney, and let's not go into another long-winded debate where we don't agree on. But at least Wayne Rooney, when he was captain, he showed a bit about him. He got stuck in. He tried to get his teammates going.
He was also a leader off the pitch as well.
He had a word with it. I want to see that from a captain. I don't want to see a captain like Tony V, whether you like him or loathe him. 90 minutes doesn't say anything to anyone, and I don't really see how that's skippering a team. That's not his fault. He's been given an armband. You know what I mean? He can't suddenly change the way he is. You know what you're going to get with Valencia. Why has he been given that? Why is he probably captain our side? I know I've not got the stats at hand.
I don't know how xenophobic it is as well.
Anyone else over the last few years.
But surely speaking English is a huge factor of being captain. I know it is full Brexit, innit? But like, surely it's important.
Do you know what? Right? I can get.
Hola, yo soy capitano.
I can get it if like you've got a captain who proper leads by example, who's maybe not that vocal, who's just someone that the players all look to and think, you know, like a Messi figure. Messi never says anything really, does he? But you know, you look at him.
How much did Eric say on the pitch?
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one that you know you want to give the ball to. He's the one that no matter how bad we're playing, he's still getting stuck in. He still wants the ball. We haven't really got anyone like that. You know, Pogba on a good day is the closest we've got to it, but he's not consistent enough. And we know the issues he's had when he's been given the armband. So
I would love to have seen what Pogba could have been with Roy Keane next to him, because a lot of people in the comments going, Keane would have hated Pogba, and I go, no, he wouldn't, because Keano loved Ronaldo because he was a grafter. And I think Pogba's a grafter. I honestly do. I think he's a grafter. I think he's silly. Or he's got silly tendencies. But I think if you had a Roy Keane alongside him going, 5 minutes, take it easy. Or he'd be like, right, kill him. Open him up, kill him. And I just think someone that's got that, you know, Pirlo. Look who he's played alongside in his career. Someone like Pirlo, just you chill out. 5 minutes, let's just sit on this. That's proper leadership. And I think when you look at the team and you go, I mean, this defence is an embarrassment. Someone hit me up the other day and was like, oh, Fergie had, trying to sound like this was a bad defence, like Ronnie Johnson, like for starters, Ronnie Johnson was amazing, candy tits. Henningberg and David May and all of these sort of players, and you go, he did, but they weren't his first choice. You look at his title winning side, you've got Pallister Bruce, flawless. In 99, you're talking about Ronnie Johnson,
played a lot of good
Stam.
games in 99, I was about to say alongside Jaap Stam, but Jaap Stam for me is probably the best, for me, centre-back I've ever seen. Even more so, and I love Rio Ferdinand, I love Vidic.
I'd probably just put Rio just a touch above him.
It's a debate, you know, I'm not going to say, oh, you're off your head or whatever, but Stam was almost as good as you could get for a centre-back. So you could put a traffic cone next to him, you're going to get some out of it, because he was that good. So yeah, I get your point there. I mean, at the moment, we haven't even got anything near the class of Ronnie Johnson, I don't think personally.
If we had a Ronnie Johnson nowadays,
we had a Ronnie Johnson, it'd probably cost us 80 mil and we'd be more than willing to pay it. Well, the fans would be, I don't know, the club would be. But yeah, listen, we're lacking leadership in defence, in midfield, just throughout the team really. It's just, you know, it's not happening really, is it? And off the pitch, it seems to be imploding. It's just, other than that, everything's going all right. Other than the football and off the pitch.
I mean, at least City and Liverpool aren't really good to compound it for us, because that'd make it hanging.
At least
wouldn't it?
Leicester are going to win the league. Yeah, we can be
praying for Sarri Ball and Chelsea to
That's
just.
how bad it is, isn't it? It's November and we're hoping that Chelsea are going to win the league. What has it come to?
Fuck's sake!
Outside chance. I'm almost cheering Arsenal winners now.
Do you see the expected goals table? That United are actually lucky to be where we are. We should be 13th.
What's that mean? I'm not.
So right, expected goals. A lot of people think it's woo. It's not woo. I think expected goals predictions are a bit woo, but expected goals, when you look back at them, it's a mathematical table which takes into account where a striker shoots from, the position of the ball, what his strongest foot is, the position of the defence, the goalkeeper, every fucking factor that you can throw in, and it gives you a statistical number of 0 to 100% chance. I haven't seen anything more than like 60% chance. Do you even like Joe ones inside the 6-yard box with no keeper?
Yeah.
They're still about a 60% chance of going in.
Right.
So it gives you whether that's an expected goal or not.
Right,
whether you should be expected to score that goal. Like Rashford against Juventus from the edge of the box for that pinger that he had.
Yeah.
3% chance of that going in.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Rashford, when he went inside the box, went one-on-one with the keeper. About a 30% chance of that going in. So when you look back, I think it's a really valuable tool to be. When you go, that was unlucky, he should have scored it. Expected goals will be like, well, actually, yeah, he probably should have scored that. Or there's only a 10% chance he was going to finish that.
Okay.
Last season, according to expected goals, David De Gea was like Superman. He had like 28 goals. No, it was 28 times more effective than expected goals thought he was going to be, which meant he actually saved 14 goals that should have been a goal.
You think about it in terms of points.
It's a hell of a lot of points.
Yeah.
And he got like 3 in that Arsenal game. I think that he just shouldn't have saved.
Yeah.
The Arsenal win at the Emirates. Now, the expected goals table is people looking back at what the expected goals has been for the whole season so far. I think Wolves are meant to be up in 4th because they've created some really good chances.
Yeah, they play good football, don't they, as we well know.
Their difference is that their striker is fucking dog shit.
It is, I can't remember. I mean, they played well against us, but it was more like...
Yeah, well, when I was analysing them, I was looking at them and I was like, they're not going to beat us because of him. Yeah. Because if they got a striker, they'd be dangerous, but they haven't. They've got a piece of wood up there, and that's why their expected goals is expecting them a lot higher. I haven't looked into it deep enough to see why it thinks United should be lower than we are, but we actually apparently should have lucky to be where we are. We should be lower down.
In that vein then, that brings me to another one me and you've argued about in the past is Romelu Lukaku. Do you still think he's... I think last time you spoke about Romelu Lukaku, he was at Chelsea. So we're going back about 5 years here, but I remember you were saying United should go for him. First season, I think he did all right. This season, he seems to become like the bogeyman. It's him and Matic. And I think there's an element of truth in it. I don't think he's good enough, but it's becoming like it's all about Lukaku, it's all about Matic, and I think it's more than that.
Yeah,
it is. But
like it is the thing, right? We live in a soundbite generation, so people want. Can you sum it up in a tweet? If not, I'm not interested.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Whereas it's way more complex.
And
than
if
that.
You tweet out Romelu Lukaku's dog shit, you're going to get loads of likes and retweets. If you say, let's give him a break, let's get behind him. Let's look at what it actually is.
Fuck off.
Yeah, you're going to get a load, and it's like, can you be bothered?
Well, I did a video called...
The emotions run out. You know, if you leave a match, you've seen Lukaku miss a sitter, it's fresh in your mind. Fucking Lukaku, you've had enough. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone's going to go sit down and go, well, if you look at the chances we created. So I think there is an element of that as well. It's emotional, and the striker's always going to be the sort of focal point.
Yeah, and they should be, because they're paid the big bucks to put the ball in the back of the net. I did a video on this channel called Lukaku's better than Kane fact, right?
All right.
You're having a lot
of football.
The reason was you take into account the number of chances he's having. He is actually a more clinical striker than Harry Kane.
I'm presuming that you didn't just make this up. You've got.
I don't say anything without data to back it up. I don't just invent. It's not an opinion.
It's just a novice.
It's not my opinion.
An old man.
It's not just my opinion.
Right.
I back it up with the data. So and last season actually. I think it was when he was at Everton, it was quite a margin. It was 3 or 4% in it.
Yeah.
At United last season, there was a ball air in it. Like there was not a lot between them. But Harry Kane had like more than twice the amount of shots that Lukaku has. Now, if I was coaching Harry Kane, I'd be showing him and going, Joe, all these shots that you have outside the box, they're fucking bollocks, mate. I'll show you on here.
Right, go on.
Unfortunately, I can't show you guys, but if you want to have a look, go to understat.com, and I'll show you that. Understat Kane. Let's have a look. So it shows you the expected goals map, and you can see what's gone in and what's not. So that's Harry Kane's goal plot.
This is just a blank screen, this, by the way. He's lying. There's nothing in it. Show me his holiday photos.
Greens are goals. There's no greens out here, but this is where the knobhead shoots from all the time. So if
Such a way with words.
if let's go result. That's result all. So that's showing you everything saved. If you just look at the goals, they're only inside the box.
Well, he's got a few here though. What are these little?
Yeah, but he's taking fucking hundreds of shots out here. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So when I say Lukaku's more clinical, his shot selection's actually better. Now you can also pull up loads of reasons, hold up play, interplay, things like that. But what I was saying is, in terms of the things that United would have been asking or should have been asking Lukaku to do, he was better or more efficient with the chances he was given.
The big debate.
Let me finish.
Go on.
Now, that's changed. This season it's changed. And there's that photo going around which shows the size of Lukaku last year against the size of Lukaku this year. And I don't know this, and I'm trying to find out this. He didn't have a pre-season. He has looked garbage this season. There's no denying it, although he did look good in the World Cup. Are United trying to bulk him up to create him into this target man centre forward that we are playing him as? Because he's not a target man. People look at him and go, Drogba.
Yeah.
No, he's a massive dude, but he ain't Drogba.
No,
he's a massive Chicharito. He's a fox in the box. Now people will be like, fuck off. These are facts. He is a guy that operates in the box. He's never had that back to goal kind of play.
No.
That's not his game. But United are increasingly asking him to do that because we haven't figured. Because we've got pieces of wood in defence like Young and Smalling who can't find teammates coming out from the back. We have to go direct to Lukaku from David De Gea, and because we're doing that and he can't play that role, we consequently lose more possession, we come under more pressure, and Lukaku looks increasingly
Do you know,
shit.
only you could find a way of blaming Ashley Young for Romelu Lukaku.
It's not just that though, he is still not doing enough, and he does look slow and sluggish and unfit.
It's frustrating, and you know yourself, even whether you back him
Tony Marshall
to watch, it's so frustrating.
Tony Marshall's amazing at the moment on the left.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to get into his stats, he's superhuman at the moment with his stats. He up until the City game, and I've not looked at this weekend yet, but up until the City game he hadn't missed a shot in the league. They'd either been saved, a goal, or someone had blocked him, but he hadn't missed the target.
He's hit the target.
He's superhuman. The problem that you've got if you play Marshall is he's not fucking passing it.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was going to say to them. Would you've been an advocate for Lukaku. I think no matter what you think about him, whatever reason, I think he needs dropping.
Absolutely.
And I think for me, it's Rashford, Sanchez, and
he wasn't injured the other week.
I've heard I know you're saying that he's been told to bulk up. I don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm theorising.
People are saying. I've seen theories on Twitter saying that he's put on weight and he's been told to lose it. I've heard theories that he's having a bit of a to-do with the manager again pre-season. Going back to the World Cup, this is the one where I've had this argument with plenty of people on Twitter. I don't think he had a great World Cup. No, I'm at 4 goals there. 2 against Panama, 2 against Tunisia, if memory serves, is it? Or yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his 4 goals, right? I saw him against. Was it France? Where he missed the. Is it the easy header?
Did you not see his link-up play? Did you not see his movement? I was watching, right, and when I watch international football, I'm a United fan. Right, so honestly, I watch Ecuador and I'll be a United fan. I'm watching, Tony V or whatever. I'm not bothered about the team. Even England, I'm one of the few people that actually does want England to win. But I want Jesse to score. I want Rashford to score. Do you know what I mean? Ashley Young to score. I'm not. Yeah. Just so you can wear another T-shirt. He's been to a World Cup, hasn't he?
Hey, it's been to England's most successful World Cup since '66. So worry about that. Hey, the Ashley Young show was in town. So when I watch Belgium, I'm supporting Fellaini and Lukaku. That's me. I want them to do well. I don't care. And I'm watching De Bruyne giving him ball after ball after ball, and I'm thinking you should do better. And I'm getting with Hazard where I'm thinking, Hazard, you're being greedy, give it to Lukaku. And
there was a lot of that in the World Cup.
And I'm seeing giving it to Lukaku and Lukaku losing it. And then I'm with Hazard when Hazard's thinking, I'm not giving it you anymore, I'm going on my own. I'm not going to keep doing this.
His record at international is ridiculous. Here's another thing that I had for you as well. Up until this weekend, if I'd have said to you, what's Harry Kane got in his last 28 games? 28
games in terms of goals?
England, where he won the Golden Boot.
Yeah. The golden penalty.
And for Tottenham, last 28 games, how many has he scored?
I don't know, let's say 25.
Okay, how many do you think Lukaku scored in his last 28?
In his last 28, I'd say, what, for country and club?
Club and country.
I'd say, he scored quite a lot for Belgium, so I'd say 18.
Lukaku's got 18.
Really? I didn't even look that up, that was a guess.
Harry Kane's got 18.
Right.
But this is the perception that I'm talking about. People are going off. People can't put the dick away at the moment about Zaha. He's got 3 goals.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, all right. I get where you're coming from. That I think the difference for me with Zaha is I always look at players like that and think when we're playing him, am I worried about him? Yes. Would I have him at United? I would have him back. I've said this. I'd have him back at United. I think he's a different player than the one we got. We wasted him. He was too young. He was out in Bramwell. He didn't enjoy it. I think now he's a danger. He's a player that would cause the opposition problems, and I think he'd actually be ready for a move to United. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. And again, with Lukaku, it's everything's better. You know, if we had him, we had that. But I think when you're just watching him now, this is a player who. A lot of it might be confidence. He doesn't look confident. He might even want the ball sometimes. You know, you get to that player where players at that bad a time of it, they don't actually want the ball. And I think there might be an element of that with him because he isn't making the runs he used to make.
No,
and I wonder if that is it confidence? Is he like thinking?
His tempo probably is. I mean, he was a big dude 3 stone ago.
Yeah.
So and
you're right. He has had to change. We know Mourinho. He likes the big target man. He doesn't want nice changing.
But that's not what
football.
Lukaku
He wants
is.
a Drogba. He wants an Ibrahimovic. He wants someone who he can just ping it up to, and he can just play it off.
He'd have fucking absolutely wanked himself into oblivion for Shearer, wouldn't he? Can you imagine Mourinho with Shearer?
I think
be unbeatable, wouldn't
it? Like that. Yeah, that's what I mean.
But that's what he thinks he is.
I don't think United need that in a minute. I think United should be going for Rashford, Sanchez, and Martial, giving them more than 45 minutes together. Give them 10 games.
We rock that together as a fluid forward 3, like let's say in a derby. But then you've got Fellaini, Matic, who can't find them. You haven't got the people that have got the range of passing. Pogba, no range of passing.
No, you're right. There was the derby sort of exposed that where we had no creativity in midfield.
Creativity, just ability.
Yeah, I mean it's depressing when you look at it, but I think that fullbacks. We used to fullbacks bombing forward, and I get what you're saying. I think it's a lot to ask for someone like Ashley to keep going up and down that wing, and we know your thoughts on that, so we won't keep going backwards. Luke Shaw, is he playing as well as you say? He's not playing as well as perhaps some of us think. Getting forward in terms of creating his chances.
He's deserving of his place. I think there's errors still, and there's improvements to be made still.
But where's spreading all this then? He's someone who wants the ball. He's someone who tries to make things happen. I was watching the Juventus game at home. It's 1-0 down, right? We've got Fred sat there, and you're telling me we're not going to bring him on.
We've got nobody on the bench that can change a game, and he's like,
you've spent 50-odd million on whatever it is, right? He's a creative player who can create goals and chances. We need a goal, and you'd rather just leave it as it is when we're playing really badly than bring on your new signing. I don't get it.
There's a lot of things that I have.
And I'm Jose in, and even I don't get that one.
And there's a lot of things that I go, people are far too emotional when they're trying to be rational about this. I'm learning all the time. I do a lot of reading, and there's studies over decades that show, and I've spoke about this week, and I've been called a retard more than ever in my life about this. And it's changing a manager doesn't do anything. Statistically, changing a manager does nothing, and that's
in life or in general, or just during the season.
No, in football.
Yeah.
In the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Statistically, changing a manager, nothing.
So what changes things, and what takes someone like Leicester City or someone like Chelsea or someone like City?
Leicester's a weird one. Leicester's a bit of a statistical fuck up.
What makes City win 100 points or get 100 points? What makes Chelsea?
There's outliers, obviously.
The title every 3 years.
The outliers. So the very good managers and the very bad managers will have a 10% increase or decrease in what a team does.
Yeah.
So Alex Ferguson, he can add 10 points or 10% to what Manchester United are capable of doing. Pep Guardiola, arguably, he's added 10% to what Manchester City are doing. But this Manchester City squad, with everything he's just added into it, won the league for Pellegrini.
Yeah, I get that.
Pellegrini won a league. Now, is he winning the league with West Ham?
I get where you're coming from.
Mancini also won the league.
Yeah, it's the Di Matteo effect, isn't it? Is Roberto Di Matteo an amazing manager?
Because he won the Champions League.
He came in, he took a side that was sitting 8th in the table and won the Champions League and the FA Cup. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's also at Chelsea, Mourinho won the league, Conte won the league, and people forget that. And now Sarri's in it. Ancelotti did a double. So yes, there's these cycles now. Are they great managers and then shit the next year? Not really. What he's saying is that team is there or thereabouts. The example that I'm reading about in the book that I'm reading, it's Lyon in the 2000s. I think they won 9 back-to-back titles, right? In that time, they had 4 managers.
Yeah.
Now, was they just amazing at appointing managers at that time, or was the team just the best in the league, and the manager just kept on
I think I get where you're coming from with this, because this is the argument I have when it comes to United and City, and people that say Mourinho and Pep took over at the same time, they had a similar sort of backing in the transfer market, and I always say this: Guardiola had a nucleus of world-class players to build around. He had
De Gea.
No, Guardiola, sorry, had
De Bruyne.
Mourinho had De Gea, right? Guardiola had De Bruyne, Silva, Aguero, the remnants of company still, and Sterling you could probably throw into there.
And did they already have Otamendi? And they already had Mangala.
Yeah, I think they had Otamendi.
And the year before, I think Clichy and Kolarov and Zabaleta had been piped up as amazing.
So he had a bit left in the tank. He had a nucleus there of world-class players to bring in your Kyle Walkers, to bring in your Fabian Delphs or whatever, to add to it, and just to get it wrong now and again. Bring in your Bravos and your Nolitos and get it wrong now and again,
and get away with it because he's just fucking piling through.
Yeah,
the ability to replace what you've already brought in is a massive one for him. Now people go, but Jose spent 400 million. It doesn't fucking matter what he spent. We exist to make money to be a successful football club. We've given the Glazers 4 times that, so how about shut the fuck up, let him spend whatever it takes. That's what we're here for.
You look at it, like you just said then, Mourinho is coming, he's got an ageing Wayne Rooney, he's got a Michael Carrick who's almost ready to retire, he's got one season left in him. He's got a defence where you've still, after all these years, got the jury out on whether Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, even now we're having this debate, is Chris Smalling good enough for United, is Phil Jones good enough for United? He's got Marouane Fellaini, he's got Ander Herrera, he's got Juan Mata, who are players who, again, question marks. He's got up-and-coming talents like Rashford, like Martial, who are very inconsistent. So he brings in Pogba, which I don't think anyone can really argue with.
No.
Brings in Ibrahimovic. Again, it's only the guy's 36 or whatever when he buys him. He's not bringing him long term. And then he makes signings that you think fit the mould, young up-and-coming defenders or whatever.
And I'm not just being a complete whitewash here with him. He's brought in players that worked, and arguably one of the key factors in 4-0 FC was Mkhitaryan. Yeah. His ability to move that ball from midfield into attack. We didn't replace him with Sanchez. We nullified the Marshall and Rashford I start you score kind of game that they were playing, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that was bad.
They killed the momentum there. Yeah. He's not worked out, and no one could have predicted that because he looked fantastic prior to that, and he's not doing anything like he did at Arsenal. He's fell out with Bayer for whatever reason.
Yeah. I think he's a bit an odd one, Mourinho, and sometimes he just sees his arse if players just get injuries. I think he just doesn't. He doesn't see. He's not very sympathetic.
There's something else about it.
I think his injuries have got to him, and I think that I think the Brighton game was like a big watershed moment because it was just that bad. I think and then he brought it back in, didn't he, for Derby, I think, and he didn't.
Was shit.
Yeah. So I think he said, right, this is your time to sort your head out. He came in with garbage again, so he's become a bit of a whipping boy. Listen, my whole point with Mourinho is, I'm not an idiot. We got a game. We know what we're seeing, and it ain't good enough. No, and the manager's got to be held responsible to a certain extent.
Are we good enough to win the league? No.
But
are we good enough to beat Crystal Palace at home? Yeah.
Are we good enough to beat Wolves? Problem. Are we good enough to beat Valencia at home?
And that's the fucking problem.
And I think, I've always said, it's getting harder now to say I still back Mourinho. I said at the beginning of the season, I think he's done enough to earn the right to be given a full season. I'd give it him. I would. I'm with you, I think, and people keep saying, you say you're going to bring in, give it to Carrick in the season, give it to, Kenneth in the season.
Oh, it could be worse.
Yeah, I think I would give him to the end of the season, and then you assess it then. Another question is, do you go again in the transfer market in January? I think you've got to. You've got to do something in January. You can't just leave it as it is.
We needed first team players in the summer to match. We knew we needed a defender. We arguably needed a fullback. And we wouldn't have minded maybe a right-sided player. I mean, if I'd been really happy with like Willian. I mean, we thought we was getting Sandro. Here's the problem as well, because our best performers this season, Pogba, Martial and Shaw, he wanted shut of all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's.
And that's not like rumours. He wanted shut of all 3 of them.
That's when you do worry about things like that, because it's like what's going on here.
But let's say, I don't know if you can say let's get rid of all them lot, but if he brought in, let's say brought in Sandro, Alderweireld and Willian, right? And people go, they're all 29. But these are the same people that are like, why are we not winning the title today?
This is the thing, you can't catch City by buying players that are going to be ready in 3 or 4 years. Yeah, he's looked at it and he's saying, right, we're behind. Last season we were 19 points behind him.
Yep.
In the summer, after we bought Fred, Diego Dalot and Lee Grant, did anyone think, and City went out and broke their transfer record, by the way, and also had Mendy coming back from injury, did anyone think that we were going to suddenly make up 19 points by buying Fred? No. Or Lee Grant? No. Let's have it right, we weren't. So he was right when he said we didn't play. The problem is, as you said, we've still got good enough to beat Palace, to beat West Ham.
He's not played nice with the toys he's got.
No.
And I can understand the Glazers being like, you have, as much as other managers and Klopp and Pep have been able to replace players they bought in them positions. If that's the game and they're saying you can't bring that guy in, but you go, yeah, look at the money spent. No first choice players came in. Nobody improved the first team. Lee Grant has got as much chance of playing as we have, right? Yeah. Delo, I always thought prospect. Maybe at the end of the year you might see him take a place.
You know what it is? It's the Alexander Butler thing, isn't it? Do you remember Alexander Butler made his debut against Wigan and he played really well, right?
Like Nick Powell.
Everyone was going.
Nick Powell's and Paul Scholes.
Get rid of everyone. Get Butler in. I remember getting home, and this was like when Twitter, it wasn't in his infancy, but it wasn't as big as it. But I remember seeing like, that's it now. Butler's got to be first choice left back. He's done more in an hour than Evra's done all season. All this garbage, right? And then Butler was more or less a disaster. But you have to, with young players coming into United, you can't just throw them in every week. You have to be a little bit cautious with them. And Dalot's had injuries as well. So I get why he's not played as much as people want to see, even though we've got obvious issues there. So it's like people just want to throw people just want to throw everyone in, and the only the problem for me with Jose, the one sort of main criticism I've got of him, I always say he'll pick a team to win. He will pick a team that he thinks will win the match, and if he thinks that Martial will win him a game, he'll pick him. If he thinks Rashford will win him a game, he'll pick him. I think what he's trying to do this season is try and prove a bit of a point. Try and pick a team that will win. I still think he's trying to pick a team to win. I don't think he's trying to lose any games. But I think he's trying to prove a point where I wanted a centre back, you didn't buy me one, so I'm playing 3 at the back with Ander Herrera as one of my centre backs, or Scott McTominay.
Played Minto Ander Herrera as centre half.
Well, I wanted that. I didn't. Fred wasn't good enough. He's not ready yet, so I'm not going to play him. I'm not even bringing him off the bench. I think he's trying too much to prove a little bit of a point.
And that's
we get
self-sabotage.
It is in a way. And I think we get it. We get you didn't get the backing that you wanted, but you've got to put that to one side.
Fucking killing us, lad.
Yeah, we can't afford. Fergie might have got away with it. Fergie could have proved a point and won the treble by leaving out players that he didn't want to buy, that he was forced to, whatever. Not that he was ever forced to buy one, but he could have proved a point. I'm still won matches. We can't do that.
It is a big difference as well, right?
The margins are too fine now for us.
When you throw in these arguments that Woodward might have had, we don't know that he's had, but he might have had, such as like, you've signed 2 centre halves. Why am I signing you a third when you can only play 2? Which is a kind of valid concern, but it's also not. In 2012, Sir Alex Ferguson signed.
In 2012, is that when we got
RVP?
Oh, right, sorry, that's the season
before. For that season. In 2012, we signed RVP.
Yeah.
Who did we have up front that year? Who did we have that he added to then? Wayne Rooney, Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck was in that, wasn't it?
Dimitar Berbatov
in there as well.
And Chicharito.
Yeah.
Let's go through that again. So, imagine you're Ed Woodward and I go, I'd like to go and sign RVP. And he goes, let me just have a quick look at the old squad poster there a second. Chicharito, Rooney, Danny Welbeck, Dimitar Berbatov, and you want another striker? We only play one up front.
When you look at that as well, you think you've got Welbeck was young at the time, up and coming. Chicharito was banging in goals for fun.
Off the bench.
Wayne Rooney was in his prime almost. Berbatov was one season off being the top scorer.
Yeah.
So you could, you don't need another striker.
No, there you go.
And
there's Robin van Persie.
You've just missed out on a league as well, so you don't miles behind. So yeah, I get that.
There's Robin van Persie. Now the problem was that David Moyes fucked that season hard. The following season, there was special dispensation for Rio. He didn't train every day. He didn't play 3-4 consecutive games. He'd be pulled out, and someone else comes in. That's what you saw a lot of Johnny Evans. Like you had Evra was finished. Let's be honest. And RVP did his own thing.
Decided he was leaving.
Yeah, but you had
mutual agreement in that I've told you I'm going, and you're agreeing with it.
Okay.
Yeah, not a problem.
You had RVP that did his own shit because he knew how to manage the injuries that the guy's fucking riddled with. Moyes is like, no, boot camp style. Rio, fucking pick up the log. Everyone's got to do it together. Now, you don't see RVP for that whole season. What Fergie hadn't done, which he'd always done, was refresh that defence. He had the blind spot for Scholes and Giggs because he fucking obviously loved them. They'd been a big rock for him for his entire career. Rooney was arguably coming to the end of his cycle. Kagawa was meant to be the guy for him, Monty, but there was a lot of issues in the squad that it kind of just got back into port, didn't it, with a title that one season, but then it just went
Yeah.
And Moyes was like...
The thing is as well, you go back to that summer, I mean, Moyes' contract's still not finished yet, has it? Still got another 6
And
months
Everton might
left,
finish above us before it does.
Again.
Shit.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I was happy with saying this. Like, they've already done it once. But you know, one of the things you look at is, when you look at what went on, that's, you know, you mentioned, and you'll know this better than anyone, because you spoke to some of these guys, he got rid of the coaching staff. He got rid of Jimmy Lumsden and Steve Round. Now at the time,
but I agree with it.
I backed him on that. I said, right, he's at a new club. They're his guys. He's coming into a new dressing room. You know, you've got to back him. But then David Gill went as well. Ed Woodward comes in. So you've got a completely new coaching staff, completely new manager. You've got a guy who's never been a chief executive vice chairman, whatever he calls himself.
Jimmy Lumsden.
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy Lumsden and Steve Round.
Just Google Jimmy Lumsden images.
He's got out your local cost cutter. I think that's where he's working. And so you've got all this going on. You've got an aging squad and all this. So you think in the summer you need a big summer, and we were in for Thiago. We were in for Fabregas. We're in for Contral. We're in for Kadira.
Probably Ramos.
We're in for Herrera. That was a done deal.
That was fucked up as well.
And I'm sat there watching Sky Sports, and I'm seeing people pretending to be Manchester United representatives have been turfed out of a meeting with.
Yeah, but they turned up with 30 million quid, didn't they?
But they weren't nothing. Yeah. And then I've seen at half-10, Real Madrid say they're not selling Fabio Contral because they'll have no time whatsoever to buy anyone else because it's deadline day. And then I look and see, we've not paid Marouane Fellaini's
it was Fellaini and Baines.
Yeah.
We could have got 2 for the price of 1, and we was like, no, we'll just pay more,
for the price of 2. It was like, that is his get-out clause. I know that because I signed it as David Motty. I was his manager. No, we'll wait until that's deadline's been and gone, and we've got no choice but to pay 4 million extra. It was complete shambles, and I don't think we've ever really fully recovered from that summer, because that was a summer where we should have. If you're going to make David Moyes manager, which, you know, we did, probably about my 8th choice at the time, but, you know, you get behind him as a fan, then you have to back him. And we didn't. And we backed him with one matter when it was too long.
Did we back him
in
with
January
him?
When it was too late?
Or was that Woodward like, oh, shiny thing?
Yeah, no, it probably was. And one matter wasn't going to come in and save your season when you're more or less mid-table in January. And Marouane Fellaini wasn't enough. I don't mind if I'm probably one of Fellaini's biggest fans in terms of sticking up for him, defending him. But I don't mind us buying Marouane Fellaini if we're buying other players as well, and if he's a squad player, or not someone who's going to come in and his first game is Yaya Toure in a position he's not used to. Marouane Fellaini was a number 10, and you're playing him as a defence at the Etihad against Yaya Toure.
Although he's actually been good at it this season.
Yeah, no, this is the thing, and it's like, you can get away with it if you're bringing in other players, but it was a complete mess. And then what happens is, Van Gaal's brought in to clean up that mess. So he brings in his players. Then that, you know, after 2 seasons you've had enough of him. You bring Mourinho in, he brings in his players. And then now it's more or less likely that after 3 seasons, either during this season or the end of it, he's going to go. Someone else comes in and he'll bring in his players. And it's just like, there is no long-term strategy.
No,
and I think,
like,
you know,
who signed him? Fergie!
Yeah. Well, this is it. In the cup final, when it's six of our players with Fergie signings in last season.
I think Jose only had 2 of his signings in the derby.
That's what I mean, yeah. It's like, you know,
it's not his team.
No, and it is a mess. And I think whatever happens now, we have to have some more long-term planning, because
this is why director of football is the guy that's got to come in and got to have that vision. And I believe Jose doesn't want to work with a director of football.
Didn't he leave Chelsea because he brought in Avram Grant?
But someone's got to sit him down and be like, listen, it's a director of football, or it's fucking Woodward going, I don't think you need Toby Alderweireld. And you're like, yeah, get that director of football in.
Who would you have? You know,
with directors of football. Yeah, so we did a video on here where I looked into quite a few the names that was shown up, like Edwin van der Sar. You know, obviously he's CEO at the moment of Ajax. Is that a step down, going from CEO to?
Seems a bit of a. I'll be honest with you. It seems a bit of a random one. That. Why van der Sar? I'm not
it could just be pure paper. Like,
I just don't.
He used to be at United.
Yeah, I don't see why he wasn't someone until his name started being mooted that I'd have thought, oh yeah, you know, it's like Phil Neville managing the England women's team. No one really thought of it until someone suggested it, and then it ended up happening. And I just think, why Van der Sar? Why him?
But there also could be truth to it. Yeah. And that might be why it came up, because sometimes there is truth.
I mean, I don't think if that happened, I don't think anyone would complain.
No, not at all. There's Monchi, there's Bartra, the geezer from Atletico. It depends what you want for your club, doesn't it? Because if the director of football is going to be the guy, we've got an extensive scouting network, which is what fucks me off whenever I see United have sent scouts to blah blah blah. Of course we have. We've got 50 full-time scouts. Think they're playing Scrabble? Are you fucking mad? Of course they're going out watching games. You have to build a database of players to be able to rank your players against them and see what the talent that you're looking for, where it sits. Otherwise, if you only just watch United, you either think we're great or shit, but you have no reference, do you? You don't know what the fuck's going on anywhere else to know whether we're good or not. So, of course, we have to send scouts out. I watched the game. I watched the under-18s game with a scout. My mate's a scout for a championship team. And I was like, you ain't getting any of these, dickhead. And he goes, doesn't matter. He goes, we have to build a database of knowledge on them. So when they maybe get released in a few years' time, we know where we think they stack up in terms of other players and what to do. So you're like, there's reasons for having scouts go and attend games. Doesn't mean the unknown club would be sticking in a bid for Mason Greenwood. But that's the sort of articles that you see get written, isn't it? When they say, "Oh, scouts are going out there." No, it's fact finding. It's about knowing it's about knowing the field that you're playing in. I think if United want to go down the Atletico Madrid route and maybe we want to pick up a little bit of bargain, because at the minute we basically do our scouting on FIFA by the looks of it, don't we? Like, he's good. Yeah. Get him. We're not going out there and finding those intelligent players. Leicester won the league by finding undervalued players playing in unfavoured leagues.
N'Golo Kante.
Absolutely.
For me, the signing
Vardy,
for that.
Mahrez.
Yeah.
What have they sold them guys for now?
Yeah.
A lot of fucking cash. So that was another one. When Ranieri won the league for Leicester, why didn't no one come and poach him? Surely he's a great manager now. Just won the league. Someone nabbed Arsenal. I think nabbed the scout.
The season after.
Exactly.
Yeah, the scout, and he had a shocker, didn't he, when he went to Everton?
No, Steve Walsh has gone to Everton.
Yeah, no,
he's the technical director, but the scout has gone to Arsenal.
Yeah, but Steve Walsh had a nightmare when he went to Everton, didn't he? Because he started like 50 million on Gylfi Sigurdsson and spending all this money.
I'd have signed Gylfi Sigurdsson. I think he's a fucking great player.
Yeah, but the very thing that he'd done at Leicester, he did the opposite at Everton when he went to spend big money for big names.
For Premier League players.
Yeah, rather than...
That's what's going to fuck you. If you're trying to sign Premier League proven's a fucking myth as well. Yeah. But it's something that people like to trot out. The Premier League's a different league to a lot of the leagues in Europe, but good players can play in it.
Right, I'm going to have to go in a minute. So before I go, right, give me some hope, Howson. How do United turn this all around? I'm not coming here to chat, so come here to...
We'll be dead soon.
Listen to your knowledge.
How about that's a bit of hope? Something to look forward to.
One day we'll all be dead.
Yeah, one day we'll all be dead.
Come on, how do we get out of this? What do we do?
I need to buy a club.
You know, mate.
Send £4 to 8333. I don't know.
Bring Ronaldo home.
Oh my
shambles. God. People are thinking that we're going to get Ronaldo by they're sending 20 quid.
Can you imagine the arrogance of thinking that you're going to set up a website, you're going to raise £100 million through your website, and then you're just going to... just going to give it a club and go, I'd buy someone.
Get levered with or whatever it was their intention was. There's been about 20 grand in there.
Alright, it's Ronaldo. He goes in anyone's 11. But the arrogance to suggest that you're going to buy a player and then go to a club, there you go. And if they go, we're not going to pay this guy's wages now, go fuck yourself. You absolute maniacs. Hope-wise, I don't know. Jose will not be the man that brings through Mason Greenwood or Chong or Gomez. Goes in a negative column. I don't know, it's bleak, mate. It's fucking bleak. It's bleak.
We've cut this down as well. This was 10 minutes he was sat there in silence.
I got a beard and everything. Yeah. I don't know. I think if you do the same thing all the time, you're going to get the same results. And I think that going through the cycle of managers that we're going through, and I hated the idea of appointing Mourinho at this time. I wanted him after Fergie.
Yeah, I did as well.
I didn't really want him now because all it represents is now we're in the Real Madrid cycle.
Yeah, I took him. I wanted him when we got him, but I did want him after Fergie as well. I think we just need to. For me.
It's got to be the philosophy of the club. What does the club want to be? Because if you want to be a financial behemoth, you're not going to be a football behemoth. You can't be both. You've got to decide to go balls to the wall. You've got to have an owner that goes like City goes, I want to win everything, how much it's going to cost, there's the money. Right? Or even Liverpool, we want success, that's what we want. We don't want financial money. But what makes no sense to me is can you imagine United was dicking everything and winning Champions Leagues and had Ballon d'Or Marshall and whoever and Pogba and they was winning Ballon d'Ors and because of how good City are, it was the biggest game in football. You tell me that wouldn't make money? Yeah. You wouldn't make money winning all the fucking European Cups? Why have we got to just come in fourth and sell our arses to noodle sponsors? Why don't we just win everything and just be like, you want to sponsor Manchester United, the greatest football team the world's ever seen? It's going to cost you everything. Why can't we do that?
Well, there you go. Maybe they'll realise that and think, do you know what? Maybe they'll watch this and think he's right. Let's give the manager an extra £2 billion. Go out there and buy everyone.
Not even getting into FFP
or maybe
and drugs.
City will get 20 points deducted from last season retrospectively because of financial irregularities.
And then Liverpool win the league.
No, last season.
I want to throw up. Okay, can you imagine? What would be hilarious is if Liverpool end up winning a league on that, but we end up winning last year's league on it.
Yeah.
We get 21 through some default thing. Anyway, go give Jay a follow on Twitter. I don't know which account he wants me to follow, so I'll just say the link is in the description. Go follow him on there. Thank you guys for watching. And there's all sorts of shit happening this week. Tune in. See you in a bit.